Hello, this is Kara from Kara Tarot with a general reading for Monday, August 25th, 2025. I'm reading with the Swagatam Tarot, and today I'm using a spread from another spread from angelorum.co. This is the Reconstructing Faith Tarot spread. Now, the first question starts with religious trauma in terms of where are you in that process. I never really thought of myself as having religious trauma, but in retrospect, I could see, okay, I know I can definitely identify something with that. I think anybody raised with it has had some element of that, unfortunately. That's where we're going. It is a 7-card spread, and I've already shuffled. So we're going to start with this. In the center, where am I on the trauma recovery journey? Second one, reflecting on personal values, core beliefs. 3, cultivating self-compassion, self-love. 4, embracing spiritual practices, soul nourishing. 5, setting boundaries, protection. 6, trusting your intuition, your inner wisdom. And 7, celebrating progress, affirmation. Now, you may remember the Swagatam Tarot has 5 suits instead of 4. And it has some interesting shifts, which I'm still learning some of the odder elements of this deck. So I may be looking some things up. Where am I on the trauma recovery journey? The King of Smoke. Okay, right away. The smoke suit is the suit of spirit in this deck. And so where are we in the trauma recovery journey? Now, kings in this deck represent order, discipline, power, responsibility. Also represent older men, fathers, and male ancestors. King of Smoke represents happiness, laughter, and love. This is a layer of bliss representing unending ecstasy, joy, bliss, and happiness. The goal of life is to exist completely as this layer. This can be accessed by loving and caring for the self and others. Now, for me, I do feel that I have achieved at this. I have arrived at this a while ago. I came to terms with all of my religious past stuff. So I hope that is true for you. Let's keep going. If you don't feel that's true for you, maybe we'll see something else here. Reflecting on personal values, your core beliefs, the 7 of Swords, which has been turning up for me every day for more than a week. Core values, beliefs. The 7 of Swords is about dissension, aggression, it could be treachery. The 7s in this deck represent geography, ideas, fruition, creativity, individuality, the weight for fruition, including the weight for karma. The 7 of So this is about our core values, our spiritual beliefs, and this is very much the traditional meaning of this: lies, trickery, cheating, theft, malicious gossip, and its deserts. How this reflects our core beliefs. core beliefs, I guess if that's part of the aspect of core beliefs, then my core beliefs are those things are bad. Those are the things I want to avoid. Those are the things that we don't want in our lives. Certainly, if we want to embody this, that those are things we do not want in our lives. Cultivating self-compassion, self-love. The Two of Swords. Making decisions. Having, being able to see more than one aspect of a situation and being able to make decisions between them. I think those are an important part of self-love. It's your, what I would call discernment. Embracing spiritual practices, soul nurturing. The Emperor. Now for me, this is my birth card. The Emperor also has to do with rules. Embracing your spiritual practices. I think whatever path you're following, there are spiritual practices that you just have to learn the spiritual practices. And before you find your own way with them and your own individual way of incorporating them, you have to know what they are. And so that is a very rule-bound way of learning things. And it can take a long time because we tend to come to whatever faith-based belief we're in, we tend to come to things with kind of a cursory knowledge and usually thinking we know it all. And then later in our lives, we get to a point where we mature and we dig deeper and we kind of unearth things about our own faith journey and our soul nurturing. Setting boundaries for protection. The Knight of Wands. He's a wonderful person to set your boundaries for you, using their creativity to dive right in and defend yourself when necessary. Setting up your protection and being creative about how you set up your protection. So it can be protection by, we all know there are various ways we have to protect ourselves depending on what's coming at us. Sometimes we have to protect ourselves by just blocking a person. Sometimes we have to maintain a working relationship with a person, but we find ways of setting up boundaries to deal with these people, but without alienating them. Trusting your intuition, your inner wisdom. Death has also been coming up for me for a week. And I have adopted the phrase that this is where I'm living right now as a senior caregiver. I kind of live hand in hand with death. And it's an interesting place to be because I don't see this as a scary card at all. And I mean, for me and what I'm dealing with, the transition part has not come yet. So it's just being in this place of being at peace as much as one can with knowing that the transition may come at any time. I'd like to look up what they say about this card. And they do say endings, transformation, transition, the inevitable, and that's how kind of where I'm living right now, change, and new beginnings. Kal means both time and death. So that's that inevitability of time. And the almost kind of a Wheel of Fortune element, that time is going to move on. This also adds, the Vedas do not see physical death as the end because the soul is immortal. The soul will continue to be born and die in physical reality until it attains moksha, or the supreme consciousness. And they also note that Kal is not to be confused with the Indian goddess Kali. So that is our inner wisdom. And that, well, wasn't that just a whole lot of inner wisdom? And celebrating progress. Judgment. Okay, judgment's come up quite a bit too. Judgment, and this is considered to be an affirmation card. So let's go ahead and see what they say about it. Judgment Day, liberation. So very much considering Judgment Day to be a liberation. And moksha, what was mentioned here, moksha is the liberation of the soul from the cycle of births and deaths. So if you're celebrating progress, you're celebrating your understanding of the larger scheme of things, and perhaps the ending of cycles for yourself. And I'd like to add now an affirmation card. I cap these readings with an affirmation card, and this one I'm going to cap with a BrainSkull Oracle. Here we are with the skull again, the death pointing at you, saying, did you forget that you're still inside the game? So however much you're focusing on these larger issues of spirituality and trying to live in your highest spiritual plane, you also have to remember you're inside the game. And that's what this Knight of Wands is for, protecting yourself as best you can while you deal with the day-to-day vicissitudes of daily life. I hope this helps you, not just today, but this week, and kind of assessing where you might be. I hope this has some truth for you and also gives you the courage to move forward and stay inside the game. This reminds me very much of the biblical phrase, being in the world but not of the world. This stuff, this spiritual stuff, this is your world, but you still have to be operating in the physical world. Have an insightful and revelatory week. Thank you.